control panel. The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
Hi, you okay?
Thank you. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. I'm very well. Is everyone with you that needs to be on, or are waiting for anyone else?
No, it's
all
myself.
present.
And
Okay.
Alex,
Great.
today, yeah.
Perfect. So I'll just really quickly introduce myself. So my name's Amy. I'm a Digital Solutions Manager. My background in the past has been I was an assessor of hospitality and management for a few years and an IQA. Since then, I've been in the quality delivery team at City and Guilds, looking after all of them and coaching them on any changes and updates in quality. And then recently moved over to the digital solutions team to support centres. So I'm coming at this from both angles, from the quality side of it, from the experience, and from the digital side. So any questions you've got as we're going along, just feel free to dive in. Okay. Can I just check, sorry, who we've got on the line and what your role is, so that I just understand where we're coming from?
Yeah, so I'm Hamdan Yafai, and I'm the apprenticeship manager.
Great.
I have a background in assessing management and business admin, customer service.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm developing the apprenticeship delivery for Technique Learning Solutions, which we're about to start delivering on.
Okay, great.
And you've got here Alex Miller as well, and I'm here in a supporting role to Hamden on an admin basis.
Okay, fab. And it's just the two of you, is that right?
Yep, just two of us.
Okay, brilliant. So I will dive into the functional skills platform that we've got to show you how to use it and the process that's involved. If you could just let me know when you can see my screen, and then we're good to go.
Okay, we can see your screen.
Got it. Okay, great. So this is your My Dynamic Learning, the eFunctional Skills platform homepage. What I'll do first is I'll show you the screen view for the learner side of things. The learner side is really straightforward and simple. So if I just run over that, then as we're talking about the buttons that you press in your system, you'll see where that feeds into within this side of it. Is that okay?
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Did you see that all right from where you are? Yeah.
Okay, so this is the learner's home screen once they log on. So it's nice and clean and straightforward. The only things they need to look at is these three boxes per se, which will tell them what they've got to do, give them an overview of how they have done in the past, and any additional work that you've asked them to do. So the first bit that you guys are drawn to is the to-do list here. So this is everything that they have got to do within their functional skills sort of flow through. Mine is a demo site, so you can see I've got different things coming in at different times. But this will be a live feed, a continuous overview from initial assessments to diagnostics to teaching and learning resources and practice papers that the system will automatically generate for them learners. How I'm doing bit on the right is once they've completed a task or a test in the to-do list, it will then flip over into the how I'm doing, so they can always review what they've been doing, and if they've done, say they've done one piece of work over and over again, they can see where they're improving and their scores going up. And then on the side here, on the left, you've got lessons. Now you can create lessons as a centre and feed them through to the learners. So if you've got a group of level 2s that you would like them all to focus on fractions, for example, you can create a lesson on fractions and send it to them. So then it gives them a lesson with all them resources and documents in. If you wanted to push a learner who was coming out at level 1 diagnostics, and then all of a sudden you said, actually, I'm going to test you and see how you do on your level 2 diagnostics, you can allocate them diagnostics as a lesson for them to work through.
Okay, so individually to them.
Yeah, so you can personalise it to individual learner or groups of learners.
Okay.
So their process is very simple. It's in the to-do list. The results will go in here, and then any additional work will sit in the lessons.
Okay.
Have you got any question on the learner view? I think it's quite nice and clean. Yeah, well, okay. Fab. So I'll log in as the assessor side, as this will be your view, and then I'll let you know where it feeds into the learners. Okay, so once you've logged in, this is your home page. Your package will always be the City and Guilds Functional Skills. So you click on that and it will open up to your home screen. Mine's got every course on, so it does take a little bit of a minute. So the top navigation bar up here, you've got your lessons here, which you can click on, and you can build lessons from here, or you can just see the lessons that you've created.
Okay, we missed you for about a minute there.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So whereabouts did you get to?
So as soon as you logged into this page, it kind of went quiet.
Okay, so this taskbar.
So as soon as you logged in as the assessor,
Yeah.
it went quiet. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So can you hear me okay now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So all I said was this top bar here is like your navigation bar for your basic settings. So on your lessons, you've got your lesson builder. So you can build lessons here, or you can see any lessons that you have already built previously, which I'll come back to and show you how that happens. Your messages, so you can send, you can receive messages from the platform, but it's not necessarily to send messages to your learners. It's just information coming to you. Along the top here, you've got your admin hub, and you've also got manage here. So your admin hub is a bit more of an overview, if I open it up, as to all the teachers that you've got, all the students and all the groups within the system. So the teachers, it will tell you who you've got, their username, if the email has been sent and verified for them to be using the system, what access they're at, the date they were added, and when they last logged into the system. Okay. Students is exactly the same, so you can see who they are, when they last logged in. It will also type S for the student. And then groups is the different groups that have been created, by who, and when it was last modified, and how many students are within that group. So it's an overview of where you're at. Okay, so once you click on it, you can delete, you can change, you can amend access for teachers, as in like take it away. So that's in your admin hub. In your manage function next to it, this is where you would manage your users. So it's where you would add, and it's really, really simple to add your users into this. You can either do it as an overview, imports like as a CSV, your Excel document, or you can do it as an individual student. So to add a student, all you need to do is either create use an email or a username. It doesn't matter which one you do use. Give them a password and put in their name. You don't have to fill in any other details. Okay. Once they're created, it will say here, and it will have a tick to say that they're active. Okay. Any questions on uploading your learners?
No,
that's fine.
Okay, great. So once you've created your learners and they're all on and your tutors, then on this page is where you allocate the initial assessments to them. It just says initial assessment. That is a free version of the initial assessment. So if you are in that process of you assess your learners before you take them on to see where they're at with English and maths, you may choose to use that, see how they come out in there before you allocate them the full license. Is that how you'd work, or do you kind of let anyone come on and then work through it with them?
So I think once we know they're committed to the qualification, and we know that they need maths and English as part of the standard, then we'll just do the proper initial assessment.
Okay, yeah. So the initial assessment is exactly the same, whether you do it for the free one or whether you do it for the what next one down. That is just then people that just want to assess if the learners are you know, that would be that one's used for. If you're happy to allocate and you want them to do initial assessments, diagnostics, and everything in between, then you would allocate them within this second box. So this is the full English and full maths package.
Mm-hmm.
So to allocate is nice, and I've got 1,000. We all use the same one. You've got two when you sign up a teacher. You need to you sign them up as a teacher or a teacher admin. Teacher admin can allocate out your English and maths. A full license, but a teacher can just view the learners, see the reports, and they don't necessarily spend the license. So in here, sorry, I've got my mouse is having a bit of a moment. Okay, so once you've clicked on allocate, oh, sorry, my laptop is having a funny 5 minutes.
Teacher admin. Teacher admin has more access.
Yeah, so your teacher admin can allocate your diagnostics as a full license. So spend that £7.50 on a learner, which is probably what your tutors would be. Whereas a teacher can just view the learners and just have a look at the reports. Okay, try again. Sorry about that. I'm begging for a nice shiny new laptop, but they won't give me one. So again, go down to allocate. It will load up your learners. And then you can either search for your learner or you can tick a group of learners. So I'll search for the one that I've got.
So when you search for groups, is that based upon what level they're at?
You can choose, so you can put into the groups in whatever you'd like. So it could be by a cohort, it could be by what level they are, if they have additional needs. You can decide how you group. So once it comes up, then you tick the box to say, yep, that's the learner I want to complete. Then you click confirm allocation, and then that will then show in their to-do list that they have got the full thing. So they need to do their initial assessments. Once they've done that, it will say you now need to do your diagnostics. And once they've done that, it will say they need to then do this teaching and learning. So by allocating that, it then pushes through for the learner to be able to do the learning and the work. Okay. So then down in the little, can you see the magnifying glass hovering around? So this is where you will access all your teaching and learning resources. You can see what the learners have got to complete and fill in. It's just a whole bank of absolutely everything that you may want to have access to. So you just click in it and it will load up here. So you've got introduction videos and guides for yourself, for students. You've then also got your initial assessment exams and tests, which down here you can see the interactive versions of the initial assessments. You can get the paper-based versions of them. You can get the answers and the feedback documents. So it's all down here. So if you have got your initial assessments and your learners coming out at a level 1, but now you want them to go away and try level 2, you can find this interactive version here. You could click on that little L, and then you can assign it to a lesson. You can assign it to a test. You can create a new lesson. You can do whatever you like on here. So you might say, right, diagnostic level 2 is a lesson that I have created. So you click on that and add it to the lesson. So then your lessons are building up here. You can then share them out to your learners. So that's a bit more where you can tailor what the learner does and doesn't do.
Okay.
You've then as well got your diagnostics. What sector are you in?
So we're doing the business sector and engineering as well. So it's almost two separate sectors.
Okay, great. So in your diagnostics bit down here, you've got diagnostics at all your different levels. So you've got entry level 3, level 1, and level 2. That keeps going all the way down versions, and you've also got your paper text versions. These out to your learners as much or as little as you like. So they may have done it something on commas in at level 1, but you want them to do it at level 2. Again, you can create lessons, but everything that appears or may appear in the diagnostic version, you can have access to. And then we start moving on to once they've completed the diagnostic. So we might say, right, they've completed it, they're coming out at level 1. You then might say, right, what have they got to do? What could I do? What lessons could I use with them? And that would all show within here. So you've got level 1, you've got your speaking and listening, you've got your reading, your writing, spelling and grammar and punctuation, exam scenarios, exam papers, and then your guidance. So if I click on to reading, it's got two different, so reading for meaning and reading for strategies. You've then got different resources. So again, you can allocate them as lessons, or you can use these in a classroom-based situation, or you can use them, you can open it up in your platform for the learners to see on your screen. So when it's got like the little running man, it's normally something like a video or a worked through example of. But then you've also got it in your PDF, your plain text version down here. So if it's a video, but your learners might not be very visual, they might want to be able to read it, then it all comes down in this reading version. Okay. You've then got these little graphs. That's a task. So you've worked through all of this with them. You now want them to do a little test. It's normally about 4 questions long, and it just sees how they've got on with what they've been learning so far. So they'd start it in here, and then they'd answer. This one's got 7 questions. So once they've completed it, I'll just tick on anything at the moment. Now the system will mark everything that that anything that's automated. The only time that an assessor may need to step in is when it's a free text feedback on sort of like a written piece of work. But I'll show you how to do that. It's really nice and straightforward. Don't worry, I'm not this bad. I'm not even reading it. I'm just getting to the end. Okay, so after that, it will then come up with this little bubble. This is the same in their initial assessments and diagnostics. This bubble will always show up, and it will give them what they got right, what they got wrong. It will give them some feedback. It will then get that they can go in and review the question if they want to go back and have a look at it. So it will give them the opportunity to spend a bit of time and see where they're doing right and where they're doing wrong. Okay. So you can access it at any time as well, and again, the little L to allocate your lessons as well. In some areas, a lot of time, sort of the writing one, there is interactive whiteboard. Let's see if I can find one. And then it gives you, you can allocate it out or you can use it with your learners in A and answer B. And then it will give them an opportunity to discuss and to have a look at the difference between their the answer B and where they got their marks from, and then work out the kind of answer that they would give. Okay, and I'm struggling to find it because I've got every single course on here. It'll be easy to find once you're on yours and you've not got, because I've got construction, hair and beauty. I've got all the ones that are sector specific on here as well, so forgive me for that one. But at the bottom here, you've also got your tutor guidance, which is it's about the functional skills and about what you're expected to look for. This will obviously all be updated and everything added in for the new reforms. We're all sort of good to go on that when that kicks in. So all your tutor resources will be tailored to them as well. You've got your exam scenarios down here, which you can allocate out as much as you like. And it will give them the time it should take for this part of the question. So if you've got like your hour for your English functional skills, and in this particular question you should aim to have completed it within the half an hour, it will give them that to sort of push them to be able to answer it without using too much of the time on one question and then leaving no time for their second. So you can allocate these out freely. You can download them for paper versions if you wanted to send it off to students as well, or print it out for them. You've then got exam papers. So these will all list down here. So you've got a different version, again, PDF, but you've also got them online. Now, it doesn't look, unfortunately, at the moment like the City and Guilds Evolve platform. We're hoping to work to that, but the questions and everything are the same because they're written by the same people that write the City and Guilds exams. So although the platform doesn't look the same, the actual wording and questioning is.
Okay.
Are you happy with all the resources that we've got?
Yeah.
Any questions
So,
on
on the speaking and listening,
Yeah.
do you have like an assessment kind of pro forma, so we can say that obviously we've observed them speaking and listening, how do we create our own?
As in like the observation for the exam?
Yeah.
So that's on the website. On the website, okay. And on your walled garden.
Okay.
You can print them off there. The website's probably the easiest place to find them. But yeah, so the assessment documents are on there, but they're not on here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Welcome. So back to the home page then. So tests and assessments here, we'll come back to the lessons in a moment. Tests and assessments are anything that you have recently assigned and when they're due. There's an automatic month set to it. I have asked the product development team to change that to that you can put in your own deadlines. So that's hopefully coming. But at the moment it will just set a month of what's available. You can view all tests that are coming up. You can assign tests to learners if you want them to do something specific that's out of a lesson. Your marking is where you would mark anything that has been assigned to you from your learner that you need to, like I was saying about your free text. So if I click on English on here, don't worry, this webinar is being recorded, so you can go back and refresh.
Oh, do we receive a copy of this one? Oh.
Let me just try and find one where I've been assigned. Try maths. So it's because someone's obviously been on my demo site and has marked my work for me, which as a student, as a tutor, isn't so bad. But what it would is, in all received, it would look the same as this. It will give you the student, the question, the test that it's for, and the date it has been submitted. It will then here say mark test. So when that happens, you just click on it and it's the same process. So it's you click on edit, and then you'll see their answer up here. And then down on the here, it will give them the student's answer and what they've put in. And then down.
So these are like mock tests that they'll do.
Yeah, so it's anything that the system hasn't been able to answer itself.
Okay.
And then down here, you give them the total marks. So it will tell you how many marks have been available. And then you would give your marks out of 3 there, and then you can view the mark scheme. And then you can add in your own feedback down the bottom. Any questions?
No.
Okay. And then once you've done, you press done marking, and then it'll all come down here, and then you can edit if you need to change it. Yeah, so your marking's quite nice and straightforward. And then back to the home screen, so it loads. Down the side, will go your test reporting. So when you open this, it will give you the reports on all the tests that you want. So it will tell you what percentage they've done, what pass rate they've come out at, where the average based on all the other students. So it will give you a student average and whether they're working towards that level or not in a red, amber, green rating. So as you can see, this learner here hasn't done any tests at the moment, but when they do, their initial assessment result will come here, the diagnostics here, and then any subsequent exams they've done along the top. The top will give you the group average, so 67% at initial assessment, the diagnostics 55%, and you can compare that in the students below. To deep dive into that student a little bit more, if you click on their name, you can then see, this will show you a list of all the tests that they've done, when their last attempt was and the score, and then you can review where their questions had fallen down. And then on the to-do list here, this will give you a list of what they can see in their to-do list. So it might say initial assessments or diagnostics at level 1. You can remove them as well. So if you don't want them to do it at level 1, you can change that. So your to-do list is everything that the learner has got to do. So especially if the learner is not doing the work and saying, oh, I'm working through it. Well, you've actually got their to-do list so you can see what they've got outstanding.
Right, that's good.
Okay. So that's everything down the side here. Your groups is just to create a group. So to create a new group, you just click on it down here, and then you'd name your group of whatever you'd like that to be. And then you can create a group and assign students. And then all you do is tick down the list of students that you would want to go into this group. And then you'd save. And then that will help you as a tutor or centre, etc., to be able to know who goes in and out of them groups. But again, that manage button that we came to at the beginning to set up your users, it's a shortcut up there in the manage groups. Okay, and then you can click on your groups at any point you like to be able to change and edit them or delete.
Splendid, thank you.
So the last functionality you've got is your lessons. So you can view your lessons and you've got a shortcut to the most recent lessons that you've used. But to create a new lesson, you could do fractions lesson. And it's from the City and Guilds package, and you press create. So from here, you can add in either your own resources or web links if you've got something that you want the learners to specifically use. So I used to use, for learners that were struggling, I used to use the BBC Bite Size resources, you know, for those ones that were a little bit more visual and wanted to click around. You can add links to that within your resources just by putting in the details, adding in the web page or the documents that you want, and then it will show down there. Okay. Within your resources, anything that you put in here or use from us, it is yours. You can print it and take it with you and give it to learners as you want. So don't feel like you can't, you know, some people are asking me if they can print it off and give it out, whether it's like copyright or anything. As long as you don't modify it, then it's all yours to take away. So you can prep the lessons that you want. So you know you're going to have a lesson about fractions, and you know that you're going to want a lesson about something else. Then when you click into your resources within the magnifying glass, you can tick down a list of everything you want, and then you can go allocate to fractions lesson.
Right.
And then all your lessons will show down here. So my lessons, I've created 1 diagnostics. The functional skills ones, I've created 6 lessons. And then within them, you can allocate them out and view them as you need. I've got nothing in that one. I've not allocated it. So all of them will show there. And that's what the learner will see in their lessons tab on the left-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions on that?
No, thank you.
No? Fab. Oh, it's very easy. Sure. That is the process of the functional skills. As far as notifications go, I'm asking for notifications to be built. I'm actually in a meeting with the functional skills HODA, which is the platform that we build all our content on. I'm actually going to their head office this afternoon, and I'm also going to ask them to have like push notifications for when a learner has completed an assessment. So maybe every day a daily feed, like news feed of what's happened within the system. That I'm hoping that will come in soon. But if there's any other development that you want, by clicking on that feedback button down here, that comes straight through to our product management team. So they will then review it and try and put it into the roadmap. Okay. Have you got any questions on the platform at all?
No, it seems straightforward. It's just use it.
Once you're into using it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've kept it quite looking clean and simple, so it's easy to navigate, because it's just to support, isn't it, from getting your learners through and getting your initial assessments done. You don't need another system that makes it difficult.
No.
Okay. Well, what I'll do is I'll download the recording and I'll send it on to you. I will then, if you've got any questions, obviously you've got my email and my phone number. You've also got Glasgow, our support team, and they are able to talk you through any on-hand questions you've got if I'm in training and not able to get there.
Okay. So in terms of the booking tests and so on, is that through Wall Garden?
Yeah, so the Evolve Wall Garden is where you'd book your actual tests. We're hoping that will link up sooner rather than later. The reason it's through that is because this is a free like flow. You can log in, log out, do exams whenever you like. Whereas the Wall Garden Evolve is the password protected, secure site.
And so City and Guilds would issue us with our username and passwords to book tests and so on.
Yeah, so when you log on to Evolve, you would put in the learner that you want to book your tests with. And then once you've done that, it will then produce their password so that when you go into your Evolve, and I'm trying to remember this from my assessment days, when you go into your Evolve, you'll see, you'll be able to click on it and then you put in the password that they've given you. The process is, I think there's instructions to it on the website of how to do that. And also it is Dan Maddock, isn't it? Your business.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. So he will have them as well that he can send off to you, and customer service can help with that if you get stuck. But Evolve's your secure platform to work through.
That's fine. So Dan should be letting me know what my username and password is to book people on.
Yeah. So if he doesn't have them to hand, he'll be able to get customer service to give them it to you, and then you can book people on.
Brilliant. Okey-doke.
All right.
Yeah, very good. So basically, this platform that you've just showed us today, it's around resources and helping the learner and lesson planning and so on and so forth.
Yeah, so this is everyone who has written the City and Guilds exams. They write all the content, so it supports your success rates. It supports the learner's first time pass. It supports learner anxiety by them having the same language from initial assessments right through to their exams, and it's to support. It's learner led as well, so you don't have to allocate out all the resources and teaching and lessons and things. The learner can work through it. So it supports them from their initial assessments, diagnostics, their stretch and learning and teaching all goes in there as well, and it should improve and give them some confidence going into their functional skills. And then obviously when the reforms come in, that's all ready to go with us on this platform. So you'll then obviously see your maths with your calculator and non-calculator, your English with your slight adjustments to the speaking and listening. So that's all ready to go into this platform, and your tutor guidance, which will help the changes that tutors need, and also obviously the additional resources that a learner will have.
When are they due to come in, the reforms for functional skills?
Reforms, I believe it's August. I've got August in my head at the moment, and I don't know what date it was. But it's it's not far away.
Okay, brilliant. And in terms of like additional learning support, identifying learning support with some learners, by using the diagnostics and initial assessments on this tool, could we then justify ALS through this?
You'd have to just check with within the quality guidance that your EQA will be the best person to ask for that, because they will tell you what they expect to see for ALS.
Okay.
I used to do if I had suspicions of someone being dyslexic or dyspraxic, I just to support myself as an assessor, I actually used to Google a online dyslexia test for my learners. So I used to kind of go a little bit further than probably the minimum requirement. So I wouldn't want to tell you what I used to do, because it might be more than you actually need. So your EQA will be able to give you that in much clearer guidance.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much.
No, that's okay. If you need anything else in the meantime, just feel free to contact me, and I'll help you out.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
No problem. Take care.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.